Hello everyone, I am Laethas and welcome back to another video, and today I have another sort of new series, and it is titled Should You Buy, and then whatever title that I am showcasing, and it's sort of going to be an overview, review, paired with pricing, paired with the type of volume. Hopefully it'll be more fun than a review, hopefully it'll help you more than a review, hopefully it'll just be better than a review, but yeah, I also have slightly different setup. I am using the flash on my camera to hopefully improve the lighting. If you think that it's not as good, or if you think that it's too blinding, too bright, let me know. I'm not really sure how it's going to turn out, but, you know, I don't have a permanent fix for the lighting issues, but let me know whether you prefer it to be sort of darker or the flash, because those are my two options as of now. But to start this new series off, it's should you buy or should you purchase The Record of a Fallen Vampire. Now, this is a 9-volume series in the Viz Media standard release format. So each volume is going to run you $10, and so the price of the whole series is $90 retail. So if you want to pick the whole thing up and you are paying retail, it's going to cost you around $90 to do so. Now the 9th volume is slightly thicker. It's like 1.5-ish volumes, as you can see right there. But you know, so you get a little bit of extra bonus content in that 9th volume for the same cost. But it is $90 for the whole series, or $10 per volume. Now, to get into the artwork, it's pretty decent, pretty good. I think it's better than average. It's nothing phenomenal, but something interesting to note is I think that the artist, Yuri Kimura, I think this is her only series, so kind of interesting thing to note. Now, this is a shonen series. However, it was a monthly shonen series, so it sort of feels a lot older than most shonen. So it's sort of that mix, or that sort of hybrid area between sort of like a shonen and a seinen. It's sort of in that range, like a show seinen, I guess. But so it doesn't feel super childish. So if you don't like typical shonen, you might like this. This was released a while ago, so I'm not sure about the print status. I think it's still in print, but I'm not entirely certain on that. Yeah, enough about those details. Oh, I almost forgot. The volume density, is what I call it, but it's basically sort of the dialogue per page. How long is it going to take you to read a volume? It's about average volume density, so whatever you're used to finishing a manga volume in time, this will probably align with that. So if you're going to pick this up, it's like an average length of a read. It's not like a, I think it's Tsutomu Nihei, where it's a lot of pictures and you can fly through all the volumes really quickly. It will take you about normal amount of time to get through this. But to get into sort of a synopsis, so in these first few volumes, you have this guy who's the Vampire King, and he is trying to revive his queen, who has been imprisoned for millennia by the humans and the Damphirs, or the Dampires, which are half human, half vampire. And so that's how the series starts, and things change a lot from Volume 1 to Volume 9, so there isn't much beyond that I can say that isn't spoiling anything. But one of the main draws for this series is that the two of the main characters, there are like 3 sort of really main characters. 2 of them are very, very intelligent, and sort of seeing them go back and forth is very, very fun to watch. So you have our main character here, the Vampire King. You have this, well, this isn't her. She is called the Black Swan, and the way the Black Swan works is when a Black Swan dies, it inherits another human's body, sort of like a parasite, and they become the new Black Swan. And the whole thing for them is they have to kill the Vampire King. It's sort of like a curse put upon them, and that's what they have to do when they have sort of contracted this curse. But, yeah, so you have the Vampire King, the Black Swan, and you also have Bridget. And Bridget is a phenomenal character, and she and our Vampire King here sort of go at it. And Bridget, so you have the Vampire King, who is a vampire, Bridget, who is a dampire, or half human, half vampire, and then you have the Black Swan, who is a human with supernatural abilities. And so you see those three sides sort of come together, fight each other, go at each other in wits, and there's a lot of plot twists that go on along the way, so you might be confused. There's a little bit of ridiculousness that goes on sort of in the beginning, but then you sort of get used to it as the story goes on. And so this series is going to be very different than most that you've read. I haven't really come across another series that feels very similar to this. So if you're looking for something new, different, then I would recommend this. For those of you interested in the vampire aspect of it, that doesn't have much play in this story. The author even states this. He was like, this really didn't need to be a vampire story. The vampires are just in there because the artist wanted to draw vampires. So it isn't like a vampire story, but there are just vampires in it, and they don't sort of have the same, I guess, nature as most vampire stories. So if you want to have vampires but you don't want the cliches, this is good for you. And yeah, so if the overall atmosphere of the series, it's not very dark, but it's not bright either. It's sort of in that neutral territory, probably leaning more on the darker atmosphere side. It's not really that edgy, so if you are an edgelord, know that this is not your edgelordy type series. Aside from that, the characters are very, very interesting. The main three, especially Bridget, our Vampire King, and the Black Swan. So if you're into good characters and you like to see sort of character stories or stories about characters, then I would recommend picking this up. Again, this is a $10 per volume series with 9 volumes in its entirety. It is completely released. So it'll run you $10 per volume, $90 to pick up the whole series at resale. And yeah, my personal opinion is I enjoyed this series, and I'm happy to have picked it up. And so I definitely give it a good recommendation. If you're looking for something different, new, unique, but nothing super dark, and you're not looking for like a comedy, this is definitely more of a drama, more of a tragedy type story, then I would recommend you picking this up. And if you're thinking about picking it up, again, as I've said before, I'm not certain about the print status of this series because it was released a long time ago. I have a first edition print right here, and let me see if I can find it specifically. Yeah, so I have a first edition print, and that was in May 2008, so this is a fairly old series, so it may be going out of print soon. But yeah, that will do it for this video. I definitely give it my recommendation. It's not super expensive compared to most other series. It's certainly sort of in that middle low to middle price range of how much a series costs. But I definitely enjoyed my reading of this series, and I would definitely recommend you giving it a go. But that will do it for this video. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything at all related to the series in question that are sort of more in depth, you sort of want a more nuanced, you have a more nuanced question, then leave those down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and share, and if you'd like to keep up to date with all of my content, you can hit that subscribe button. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I am Laethas. Goodbye.